Welcome to The Critique. Today we're looking at a piece of political commentary, a video where the creator roasts Candace Owens for her claims about Charlie Kirk and wizard schools.
Yeah, wizard schools. So let's just jump right in.
Let's do it.
Okay, so I think the first big thing that needs a look is the rhetorical strategy, specifically how he challenges her credibility.
You mean the language he uses?
Exactly. It's very reliant on ad hominem attacks.
Oh, completely. I mean, throughout the whole thing, she's a dingbat, a psychopathic idiot. He even attacks her appearance.
But look at her stupid face line.
Right, or lights on, nobody's home.
And here's the thing. I get it. It feels cathartic, you know?
Sure. If you disagree with her, it feels good to hear.
But what does it actually do to the argument? It kind of lowers the intellectual ceiling of the whole piece, doesn't it?
It really does, because his main point is that she lacks substance.
Right. And then he counters her lack of substance with insults about her face.
He's sort of falling into the same trap. It becomes a mudslinging contest.
Exactly. And you risk losing listeners who actually wanted a serious breakdown, not just playground insults.
So the suggestion here is to shift that focus.
Yeah, move away from attacking the person.
And instead deconstruct the behavior, the tactics.
Precisely. So for example, instead of just saying, she has a stupid face.
Which, I mean, it adds nothing.
Right. What if you analyzed that smug expression as a rhetorical device?
Ooh, I like that. A tool she's used.
Yeah. Talk about how confidence artists use that exact look, that kind of unearned certainty to sell a lie.
It's like a performance of authority.
That's it. You're teaching the audience how to spot manipulation, not just telling them to laugh at her.
And he even brings up Jordan Peterson later on, but he just uses it to call her a psychopath.
Yeah, and that's such a heavy clinical term. It just gets thrown around and loses its meaning.
So instead of the label,
talk about the traits. Use that Peterson reference to discuss the traits of high-conflict personalities in media.
how they need to constantly escalate things?
Exactly, which explains why we go from a political disagreement to accusations of, wizardry.
That's analytical. Calling her a nut job is just noise.
It elevates the creator from being a heckler in the crowd to being a immediate analyst, an expert observer.
And that's a much more trustworthy position to be in for the audience.
Totally. Okay, so let's talk about the structure, the way he actually uses the clips.
Right, this is the second big area. It feels a little repetitive.
That's the word for it. He tends to pre-roll his analysis.
He tells you exactly what you're about to see.
Yeah, he'll say something like, I don't like Nick Fuentes, but he's totally right about this third eye stuff.
Then he plays the clip of Fuentes talking about the third eye.
And then he comes back and says, see, he was right about the third eye.
It's like we're getting the same point 3 times.
It really slows things down, and it doesn't add any value. He's just nodding along.
So the suggestion is something you call the bridge and expand structure?
Exactly. You set the context, the bridge, you play the clip, and then you expand on it.
You add something new, some piece of information that wasn't in the clip itself.
Yes, and he's in a perfect position to do this. He clearly knows the subject.
Like with the Charlie Kirk stuff.
Perfect example. Fuentes makes all these jokes about Kirk playing a sitar or going to Wizards of Waverly Place.
They're funny lines for sure.
They are, but the commentary after is just, Nick is so funny.
When there's a huge opportunity there.
A golden opportunity to bridge from the joke to the actual factual absurdity of the claim.
So instead of just saying that's crazy.
You prove why it's crazy. You insert the actual history of Charlie Kirk.
Right, he founded Turning Point USA. He's from a standard Protestant background.
He was organizing in industrial parks in Arizona.
Yeah, knockout punch.
Yes, and it uses the host's expertise. He says he listens to Kirk's show.
You should use that as a credential.
Totally. I've listened to hundreds of hours of this guy. He talks about economics and the Bible. This astral projection stuff contradicts everything we know about him.
That's the expansion. You're bringing something to the table the audience can't get just from watching the raw clip.
And you stop being a hype man for the clip.
And you become the value add, the reason to listen.
Exactly.
Okay, let's pivot to the third critique. This one is about the theological angle he takes.
Right, the theological pivot. It's pretty abrupt.
Yeah, he gets very aggressive with it. He says believing in the third eye is literally worshiping the devil.
And calls the whole situation demonic, dismisses all of Eastern mysticism as total crap.
Read your Bible.
Yep, and look, for a certain niche audience, that worked. But what about everyone else?
The weakness there is that it assumes the whole audience shares his exact spiritual framework, right?
Precisely. The audience came for a political roast, and they suddenly find themselves in the middle of a sermon.
It can be very alienating. You risk losing secular listeners or even religious people from different traditions.
You're treating your subjective theology as objective political fact. It's a huge barrier to entry.
And it feels jarring. We're talking media tactics, and suddenly it's about the literal devil.
So the passion is there, which is good. We just need to channel it differently.
How so?
Frame it as an analysis of target audience manipulation instead of a sermon.
Okay, so instead of saying, this is demonic,
You ask why she's using that language. Is Candace Owens trying to trigger a kind of satanic panic among religious conservatives?
so you're analyzing the weaponization of that spiritual language.
Exactly. You're analyzing the strategy. Why use words like demonic or boogeyman?
It's a tool to other your opponent.
That's it. You can analyze the third eye accusation not just as sinful, which is a moral judgment,
But as a strategic attempt to paint Charlie Kirk as somehow alien to his Christian base.
and that analysis works for everyone, regardless of their faith. You keep your moral compass, but you deliver a political insight.
That's a really smart shift. You're turning a complaint into an insight.
A complaint is, she's saying bad thing. An insight is, she's using this specific vocabulary to trigger a fear response in this specific demographic.
Much more powerful.
Much.
All right, final point. Let's talk about the platform dynamics. The claims he makes about YouTube.
Yeah, near the end, he claims YouTube is explicitly propping up Candace Owens.
To destroy the right.
Right, and at the same time, it's suppressing his channel for exposing her.
The weakness there is pretty clear. He's fighting a conspiracy theory with another conspiracy.
It just sounds like sour grapes, doesn't it?
A little bit. It weakens his position as the sane, rational observer we've been trying to build up.
And it makes him sound like a victim. It actually mirrors the thinking he's criticizing in her.
It's a logical inconsistency. He's mad at her for making things up without evidence, and then he does the same thing.
So the suggestion is to ground this whole discussion in something more concrete.
In engagement mechanics, not intent.
Yes, talk about the algorithm. We know algorithms favor high conflict, high arousal content.
So Owens isn't being propped up by some leftist agenda.
She's being rewarded by a neutral algorithm that just loves chaos.
That's a much stronger argument.
And instead of saying this is a plot to destroy the right, frame it as a natural outcome of purity spiraling.
Where these figures attack their own side for clout.
Because conflict generates views. It's that simple. And you can replace the whole YouTube hates me narrative
With what?
with a truth is boring, lies are viral analysis.
I like that. Truth is boring, lies are viral.
It completely reframes it. He's no longer a victim. He's a media analyst explaining how the digital world works.
It empowers him. He's not at the mercy of the system. He's decoding it for us.
Exactly. You want to be the expert guide through the chaos, not another casualty of it.
That's a great way to put it. This all comes down to a shift from being a participant in the drama to being an analyst of the drama.
That's the whole thing in a nutshell. The participant calls names, gets angry, and complains about the algorithm.
And the analyst explains the tactics
Contextualizes the language.
and decodes the playing field. Be the analyst.
Be the analyst.
This has been really productive. I think we have some very clear action items for the listener. Let's do a quick recap.
Sounds good. So first, replace the insults. Swap out dingbat for analysis of rhetorical tactics like unearned confidence.
Right. Second, use that bridge and expand tech. Don't just agree with the clips, add your own factual context to prove why the claims are absurd.
Third, frame the theological stuff as political strategy. Analyze how religious language gets weaponized instead of just preaching.
And finally, explain the algorithm. Ditch the conspiracy theories and talk about engagement mix. Explain why chaos goes viral.
And if you make those changes, the whole piece becomes tighter, it appeals to a broader audience, and it establishes the host as a credible, authoritative voice.
We really encourage you to apply these lenses, tone, structure, audience alignment, to your next piece. We'd love to see how it turns out. Please submit your work back in, again, for more feedback. Thanks for listening to The Critique.